Hello everyone and welcome to my hobby home. I am in the process of making cabbage and sausage. I already have my Instant Pot set on Saute, heating some olive oil up. So y'all just come along with me. What I'm doing right now is slicing up smoked sausage. This is kind of how I make cabbage anyway, but I do it in the oven. I've never made cabbage in the Instant Pot, and that's what I'm trying today. So, thank you for joining me. Have y'all ever had a day that you just got in the kitchen and just started cooking and just cook? Well, that's kind of what my day has been today. I've got 2 videos already out, so if you've noticed I look exactly the same, it's because they were all cooked in the same day. But in order to avoid having an hour-long video that you're definitely not going to watch that long because you don't want to see everything, I thought I would just do them individually. So if there's one that has particular interest, you hear my olive oil. I have 2 tablespoons of olive oil heating up so I can put my sausage in there. Now, like I said, this is just smoked sausage. I'm going to go on and start throwing it in there because it's popping and I don't like it popping. Got one little piece left right here. And after I get this browned, I'm going to just throw an onion. I keep my onions diced and frozen in the freezer. For times like this, I don't have to. You hear it beeping, it's ready to cook now. So I don't have to chop an onion. So our recipe starts out with us sauteing this sausage, just browning it. And being that olive oil was already hot, a lot of this sausage is already browning in here. I will turn you guys down in just a moment. But right now what I'm going to do is get my head of cabbage cut up. I did not grow cabbage for some reason. Well, I know why. I can't get cabbage to grow. I have too many things that like to dig in my garden called raccoons. And they will dig everything up. They will destroy a garden. And even if you got a fence around it, they know how to get into it. Let me wash my cabbage real quick. Okay, so what I'm going to do is going to get my cabbage cut off of the heart. I don't ever use that part because it just takes too long to cook it down. And then the thinner leaves are mush by the time that gets done. So I will compost this. Now this is a new recipe kind of that I'm doing. I've never cooked it in the Instant Pot, but this is very close to a recipe that I use in the oven. It did have some different seasonings, but I'm using my own seasonings that I do in the oven just because I know I like them and they're tried and true. So, okay, I think I'm about to pull you guys down and let you see what's going on in the pot here. Okay, here you can see our sausage is already browning real nicely. And like I said, this is just smoked sausage. You could use any kind of sausage that you prefer. Now what I'm going to do, since most of my sausage is already brown, I'm just going to push it over to the side. Because since my onion has some ice crystals on it, I just put a cup in there. It said 1 onion. I think a cup is going to be more than enough. Now we're going to just saute the onions down until they turn translucent. I know you can't see that because I There you go. Maybe you can see that a little better. Now at this point of the sauteing of the onions, I do add my salt and pepper to the onions, and that just kind of helps bring out some of the moisture. And these are very teensy tiny salt sprinkles. Now at this point we're going to add our other seasonings. I'm following the recipe that I have. Now they put a different seasoning blend in here. They use Italian seasoning. I'm not using Italian seasoning. I'm using Zatarans. Normally I have Tony Chachere's, but I don't have any of that today. So I'm just sprinkling some Zatarans in there. I'm going to sprinkle some black pepper in there. And the next thing I'm going to do is put my chicken broth in there. It calls for 1 cup. I'll put that 1 cup. Now that's homemade chicken broth. So what we do here is we use that chicken broth to deglaze the bottom of our pan. The reason I leave the sausage in there when I cook the onions is because just browning that sausage does not render out a lot of fat. And I do like my onions to kind of cook down in that grease, you know, the fat from the sausage. So we have it boiling here. I've got it deglazed real good. My next step is I'm going to put a small head of cabbage in there. Now my recipe calls for a small head in chunks. That's what I'm doing. I just have a small head of cabbage cut up in chunks, and that's what I normally use too, is a small head. And I'm just putting it in here. I am going to add just a tiny bit more of the chicken broth. Now we do need to add some Worcestershire in there and butter. It calls for 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire. Okay, that's a tablespoon. And 3 tablespoons of butter. For my butter, I just use Linda Lakes. I actually have 3 tablespoons left on this block. So I'm just putting it down there. Our next step is to put the lid on. So I have to stop the saute cooking. Okay, so my next step that I'm going to do, we've covered the pot, locked the lid. It is set on sealing. We're going to set the manual pressure cook button to 3 minutes. So pressure cook. We chose custom. We set 3 minutes. We're choosing high and starting. What's going to happen after this does the 3 minutes, we're going to let it natural release for 5 minutes. And then we're going to vent it and remove the lid. So I'll bring you guys back then. Okay, and we are almost at 5 minutes of natural release. We have just a few more seconds to go and we will be 5 minutes. There we are. we're going to go on and release the remainder of the steam. And notice it's still telling us do not open the lid. Once it is safe to open that lid, we will have a notification saying that. Okay, I just heard the thing drop down in it, so it does have a little pin back there. It says okay to open lid, so I am going to cancel the cook. And I'm opening the lid, as always, away from me. Y'all, this smells delicious. And this is the fastest I've ever cooked cabbage before, so I'm hoping it's good. Now you can see down in here that we have our cooked cabbage and sausage. I'm going to stir it around. The instructions did not say to stir this or not, and I don't stir it when I put it in the oven. I just I put the butter in the bottom of my pan and put my cabbage on top of it and pour my sausage and onions on top of that. So I'm stirring this for you to see, and I'll turn you up so we can taste test this. Okay, I have you turned up here. Let's see what we can get. I'm just going to get a little taste of some cabbage and a sausage in there. So this is what I'm getting right here. Just got a little taste of it. Smells divine. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. I have to let it cool off because I can't get too hasty or I'll burn that mouth up bad. And y'all, it smells delicious. I bet it's going to be delicious, and I bet it would be delicious on cornbread with maybe some peas, some black-eyed peas. Okay, I smell the Worcestershire in there too, which I like Worcestershire. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, that is so good. I can eat that whole pot. This is so good, y'all. Oh my goodness. Now, there's really no recipe. I mean, there is time limits and stuff, and I'll put that in my description. Just look down there. Or you can scroll back in the video, and everything, like the measurements, it's just pinches of this and pinches of that. I probably put a teaspoon and a half of black pepper, a teaspoon of salt, my Creole seasoning. I probably put a good teaspoon and a half in that. I put a cup and a half, I'm sure, yeah, it was a cup and a half of chicken broth. A 13-ounce package of smoked sausage, small head of cabbage, 1 diced onion. I think the Worcestershire was a tablespoon. I think it was a tablespoon. But I'll put that information down in the description, y'all. This is delicious. My husband is going to enjoy this tonight because he is in right now, but he's at the Pew Pew and the Slash Slash show right now. So he enjoys those things. I'm okay with it. Because I enjoy this, I enjoy sewing, I enjoy quilting, so I'm not going to complain about him enjoying the pew-pewing at all. So, if you enjoyed this video or like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, click on that subscribe button. Leave a comment. Each and every comment I get, I do respond to it personally, and it does help my channel to grow. And as always, until I see you again, have a very blessed day. Goodbye.